Don't you see me right now, baby girl? I'm on the grind. I ain't really got no time to waste time. Baby, I'ma shine.
Welcome back to Let's Help You Grow Now, because I'm here to help you grow now. I'm going to do reaction to Gary V, the future of marketing, AI, social media, and consumer attention. Let's get it.
The information that is being consumed by the 8 billion people outside this room, it is predominantly coming through this. And the thing that is most dominant on this for attention is social networks. And until we swallow that pill that so many of us have not wanted to, and understand that the creative that works in there is the work, and especially now, I don't think it's lost on anybody that's close enough to this, the algorithms flipped 3 years ago. And now we're completely interest-based. Organic reach measures relevance. That's insane. We finally can measure creative. Honestly, we can hold creative accountable. I'm sure it is not lost on anyone how much advancements we're seeing in the AI space. And I'm sure it's creating a lot of, anxiety and concern, I'm sure, for a lot of people in our industry. And the truth of the matter is that, it's super real. We can be self-serving and selfish and hopeful and delusional, grounded in our self-interest about why it's not this, or is it ethical, or emotionally ideological. But the reality is we are going to be making 1 hour videos for $4 that take 19 minutes, and that used to cost $800,000 and 9 months. And this has a higher likelihood of working than what we all do. I mean, this is I feel so interested in that, what I've been talking about, which is hey, social media is real. And we have to stop putting television or bad reporting or awards on a pedestal. And now I feel what I was talking about is minor leagues compared to what I think what's about to happen. However, what I would say is what I've been talking about will play out again in this AI forward world, which is if you are not common sense centric, if we talk about, this is I want to talk to everybody in this room like humans, not we're at a business thing. This industry.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. You do got to have common sense. Using AI, you have to have common sense, because I got I got hella merch. All right. It was pretty much made by AI. And when I tell you, if I ain't know how to describe what I wanted, how I wanted it, and when it sent me something, I didn't like it. So I told it exactly what to do to fix it. It would have never did it to my liking. You feel me? So you have to have common sense, bro. I don't know how the hell you get common sense or how you learn common sense, but you have to have common sense. You got to be tech savvy.
Loves to talk about we're consumer centric, and does work and runs media that is the opposite of consumer centric. I know you know that as a human. You may not act on it or even talk about it as an executive or being in the industry, but I know you know it as a human. I know not one human being here has clicked a banner ad in a decade. I know that, right? And I know that if your life depended on it, your family's well-being depended on it, and I gave you £1 million or euros to make something sell, that you would spend it differently than what we often in this industry recommend and do. So, I think what I'm most passionate about forever, how I got into this industry, is I'm most passionate about where the actual consumer's attention is. It's funny, I wasn't academic with my marketing. I got into the industry 15 years ago on the back of doing marketing for my family's wine store. And I could see that things were changing in 2006, 7, 8, and saw an opportunity. As I've been in marketing in the industry for the last 15 years, I learned all the terminology. I learned the core principles, and I've smiled along the way, because I realize in a lot of ways, even though I've talked a lot about disrupting it and things of that nature, my principles are incredibly classic. For example, the main reason in hindsight, I couldn't articulate this when I came out the gate because I didn't know the proper terminology, but in hindsight, the main reason I've always loved social media and the distribution of creative on it is it allows you to win on relevance. I just can make 50, when I look at all of you right now, and I'm thinking I want to sell this PayPal beverage to all of you, it's inconceivable to me that one video can make it happen. I feel I have to systematically put you into micro groups or even individual groups and create words, videos, and pictures that might compel you through relevance to consider drinking it. So I think we're living in the golden era of that. I believe that what is very clearly starting to hit the ether of our industry is that social creative is now moving to the forefront. I can tell you, because I'm in the trenches with all of you, our company, the scopes we signed in 2025 in fee for social creative are 10, 20x what we were getting the year before. So the speed in which the dollars are going, we are, to take a step back and making too many assumptions, VaynerMedia, we are full-pledged media and full-pledged creative in every category, social, digital, and traditional. We have dozens of creative AORs. On that side of the equation, we have much bigger scopes for the social creative in fee than the above the line creative in fee. And I know all of you are starting to see that because I'm enough in the business world, and it happened fast. There are clients where we were the social partner getting $700,000 in fee for the year, and the creative AOR, Anomaly, Droga, Wine, whatever, they were getting $4 million, and in 18 months it flipped. And I think we're never going back. I would tell you all, I just think it's all wrapped up now, especially because I think it's the AI overlay on top of this. You know, just like anything in life, it takes like 6 things to make the thing happen. This isn't just that, though it was happening anyway, the industry was starting to get into a social first environment. I think the acceleration of what AI is going to do for creative is going to it's just getting hard for a Fortune 500 to get excited about spending $1.3 million on making a single 30-second video and spending $5 to $10 million to amplify that and then do matching luggage and digital and social to support the idea that we guessed in a room like this, which is based on politics and insecurities and guessing. So I think that's where we're at. I think the craft, you know, it's funny, going through this industry, I remember maybe the 3rd or 4th year I was at Cannes. It was like 2 a.m. at the Carlton, and some extremely drunk creative director from a holding company came up to me and was like, you know what? I really fucking hate you. I'm like, all right, here we go. I was like, here we go. But I'm like pretty good in that setting because I understand the context. I'm like, go ahead. He's like, you don't care about the work. And it was a really, the reason I'm telling this story 8-10 years later is it's a really important moment in my career. I looked at him like, brother, I'm the only one that cares about the work. And it was funny, he sobered up quick, and we had this really interesting conversation. I said, the way our industry considers the work is for ourselves. We're insular. I'm like, you're telling me that the awards that are gonna be given today, that is all politics and already thought out, you all know, like that's the work? I care about someone actually seeing a video.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, like, ain't nobody gonna care as much as you. It don't matter if you, even if you hire them as a help, still not gonna care more than you.
Or a picture and actually buying something. This is called marketing. This isn't called second-rate art. And we need to consume that and be fucking accountable to that. And one of the reasons that over the last decade so much marketing has gone in-house is because we haven't been good enough. That's real fucking talk. And so I'm actually very passionate about this industry. I want agencies to succeed. I spend time with my direct competitors and try to add deposits and help them grow because I want it for us. Meaning, I don't view that as a negative. We're gonna go in and pitch and it's gonna be a subjective call. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like that's hurting Vayner. I think we can all be there, but we as an industry really need to wake up. And like, the doors are closing in quick. And we just need to be dramatically more consumer centric. And the information that is being consumed by the 8 billion people outside this room, it is predominantly coming through this. And the thing that is most dominant on this for attention is social networks. Yes, there's gaming and there's utility apps. And until we swallow that pill that so many of us have not wanted to, and understand that the creative that works in there is the work, and especially now, I don't think it's lost on anybody that's close enough to this, the algorithms flipped 3 years ago. And now we're completely interest-based. Organic reach measures relevance. That's insane. We finally can measure creative. Like, honestly, we can hold creative accountable. I think that's what I really am passionate about. And like, that's where it's going. And until we have a distribution change, which might be the Meta glasses in 6 years, might be something else, but until we have a distribution change, this is it. And I think the people that most understand how to storytell in that environment and understand the best practices, we at Vayner, we call it PAC, platforms, algorithms, and culture. I think it's really simple to understand. Like, if you want to sell something in this market, in Thailand, in Boston, in Rio de Janeiro, which platforms have the attention and how do they work? How does the algorithm work? So what creative units, I'll give you a real life example. This may help some of you, I hope it does. 1-second videos on Facebook proper right now are dominant. So most people will post a picture and you'll post it. If I made a picture right now and posted it on Pepsi's Facebook in Europe and posted it, it would, and let's just say whatever the reality of how many followers in the algo, if that got 8,000 reached people, if I made the same exact thing, but I made it a 1-second video instead of a picture, which is a picture, it would get 100,000 views. And it would get 14 more comments, which would give me more consumer insights. And then I could do it again. That level of craft, people love to talk about craft in this industry. Craft, which for a common sense man like me equals, let's spend a lot of fucking money on production. That means nothing to the business. That's how, when someone's like, I care about the craft, I'm like, you have lost your way. You're in the ether, we're in the muckery of marketing for the sake of marketing, not remembering what we all do here for a living. And so my tough love, my pushback, my passions, my different take over the last decade has been more about what is happening now, which is this industry doesn't need to exist. Every one of us, very likely, I would go with now, if we're in marketing in 10 years, are working at a brand, not an agency. And we fucking blew it. Thank you. All right, that's like the things on my mind in a macro. I can go anywhere, influencer marketing, AI influencers, gaming, live social shopping I'm obsessed with. Let's just do Q&A. Yes, what's your name?
I'm Maddie.
Maddie.
I'm from Tiffany & Co.
Amazing.
And I'd love to have your take on creator content and keeping up at speed for luxury brands.
Yep.
Is there anyone that's doing it really well? I have a lot of kind of barriers around brand safety,
yep.
And very much leading on creator content as well at the same time. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's right. I think here's a couple things. As soon as you said I'm a Tiffany & Co., you know where it's going, right? Like this industry, Fortune 5,000 companies with marketing and social first new environment in general. I mean, we have some brands that are toilet paper and treat themselves like they're Tiffany's, right? So you have all those feelings, but then when you're actually one of them, it adds another level of complexity. And now, I'm sure not lost to anyone, especially for brands like yourselves, all of a sudden the Instagram grid has become like the TV ad. The emotion, I mean, I'm in meetings with high-end brands where they're literally treating a single post on Instagram like it's a fucking Super Bowl spot, right? And so have you all, like rounds of revisions. It's so against the way that social should work. So I would tell you that, I'm gonna throw something out here that might help a lot of you. The people that have really cracked this, in my opinion, in luxury, have realized what handle strategy means. Creating another handle at casual Tiffany's and giving the creative team the ability to be a little more casual in that handle. Because as you all know, no longer do we need followers to get reach. So once we switched from needing followers, this whole strategy has opened up for us. It's been huge for us. Please take it, steal it, here it is. Like, I think it will help you, because what you're trying to get out of is the politics of the internal team. There's nobody at Tiffany's that is deeply grounded enough in PAC to know that the subjective opinion, here's what, actually, let me say it this way, this may help you. Here's my full presentation when we work with an extreme luxury brand. We do the meeting, it gets to this point, we all know what they care about. Like, this is a 150-year brand of luxury, Gary, fuck you, okay, fine, I get it. I then put on the screen, take my phone, AirPlay in, and I type in Tiffany's on Instagram, search, enter, and I show them 900 posts about Tiffany's in the last 24 hours. And I ask them, are you controlling the brand? Our one fucking post a week to the 900 posts, like, this industry is stuck in a book that was written in 1991 called How Brands Grow. If you unpack the process of how people do creative, it is grounded in that. That book was written before the internet. Controlling the brand is just a fake ideology. It's, you know, and so we need to win on relevance, which means we need a lot more creative. And like, if you want someone who's just become newly found wealthy, who's 29 because they had a big exit of their startup and you want them in, that's a very different fucking picture and video than third generation wealthy gal from the Upper East Side. And we need them all to get them in. So I think handle strategy might work. I think having, so here's something again for people. I will tell you one of the other things in the last 24 months that's changed our company, we've had a lot of growth, is that I finally put my foot down on something we call elephant meetings. The other thing that has worked for us is we're just telling the fucking truth with no wavering. And if you believe that there's a different way to do it, then you just need to have an elephant meeting and show them the 900 posts in the last day and be like, in a world of this, what do you want from me? You know? Yeah. But I don't know if anyone's doing it right. I think people, there's two things that are slightly wrong in this world. They're treating social like print. It's really wrong. Again, even that 1 second video versus a picture, like for me, we are trying to maximize on reach because it is earned. Here's something I talk about internally that might really land for all of you. This is gonna make a lot of sense to all of you. For the last 70 years, working media has been disguising bad creative. Today, working media should be used to amplify good creative. We are spending billions of dollars in media at Vayner, which is unusual for a creative shop, right? When we have the client fully our way, which is obviously 20% of the time, maybe 10, we don't spend $1 on media on a piece of creative unless it over-indexes organically. Not $1. We even have clients that are in year 2 that have taken down their working media budget and put it into creative because that's what actually happens in this. I actually predict that the split is at the next, maybe call it 3 years from now, which I think will be the apex moment of social creative at scale. I believe the mix will be 50-50 creative and media instead of 80-20 on a good day. So I think a lot of changes soon.
I'm a cash founder of Favourite Name, so it's a haircare brand in
Yes,
Sephora.
yes.
And I wanted to ask, in the beauty industry, you're probably seeing a lot of celebrity brands coming out, and now when I'm working with like Sephora, it's all about following the founder of
Yes,
celebrity.
yes.
So as a non-celebrity founder brand, I'm trying to think about my own founder-led strategy
Yes,
for the business.
yes.
What tips do you have for like founder-led brands with the founder position?
I mean, there's two ways. I think my number one piece of advice in this scenario is don't be half pregnant, right? So I'm entertaining myself up here. I don't think you need to do what I did. I really don't. I don't think everybody needs to build their personal brand. I think you can, and I think it's a massive weapon, but you also have to be self-aware. If you are like deeply like passionate about being the operator, and you wake up in the morning and you love supply chain, and I mean this, I mean like I'm not that many people do, but like I like weird stuff. Like you might like supply chain, or you like being a leader, or you're more COO, right, than personality. I don't think it's gonna work anyway. You can get to a certain place, but I'm sure here we all know like there's things we're naturally talented at and our ceiling's high, and there's things that we're not as naturally talented at. Now we may work on it, like I've worked on my health and fitness, it's better than it was 10 years ago, but I'm never gonna be a fucking Adonis superstar athlete. You know, like we have ceilings. So I think, but if you decide you can do it and you're into it, then you gotta go all in. You gotta do a weekly podcast, interviewing people from the industry and influencers. You've gotta create a format of content that is replicatable for you. Like, you know, 10 years ago, I knew that this really mattered, and
You basically got to go your own pace. Like there's no such thing as a right, like what to do. I'm gonna be real with you. It's really not, bro. Like you just got to find your groove. Like just try stuff, see what you willing to do, and just keep doing that basically until something pop off, and then you could switch up or whatever. But there's no right or wrong, honestly, especially now in 2025. It's really not. Like there's no go-to blueprint. You feel me? It might be a blueprint far as how you get it, like how you make the money or how you get the views, but not how you get the views or get the money. Like how you are, what strategy, because you still got to have a strategy at the end of the day.
Much to the chagrin of the entire human world, and took a lot of cynicism, and people really had things to say, mainly behind my back, but even occasionally to my face. But I knew that I was just working 15 hours a day, and I wasn't going to make content. But I knew there was content every second I was living, and I knew that I was in control of the post-production, and it really changed everything for me. Right now, the most famous people in the world emerging to Gen Alpha are IRL streamers, fully streaming their life 24/7, the next level of what I did. Mine was filmed and then out. This is fucking live, right? And so, I think you have to find a way. Another way is going on podcasts regardless of the size. One thing I did in 15, 16, and 17 that was confusing to a lot of people, and now people that are really deep in personal brand understood, I would go on very small podcasts, because I went one twice. At that point, I already had a little bit of juice, so I was putting on someone, which is karma is a real currency, my friends. If you leave with anything I'm saying here, let me leave you with this. Doing good things is wildly ROI positive. So I was at a place where I could pick a podcast that was like just starting and said yes and gave up my most valuable asset, which is my time, but it wasn't completely selfless. Yes, I would be on a show that then would clearly use my name and get their guests, and many big podcasts today did that, and it feels incredibly amazing, but I also got the 30 minutes of content. And I didn't have to do shit, just had to answer questions, right? So, I think finding a format, but I think you could go on a 25 to 50 podcast tour to tell your story over and over. There's some distribution from that podcast, but the clips that come out can become ammo for you to use on LinkedIn and Instagram and things of that nature.
You mentioned about kind of comments and taking consumer insights there. Just that you post on social and you've got writer issues, cold food,
of course,
same thing.
Of course.
I've done it before about it. What's your advice for kind of handling those? We can't all be right there and abuse people, but which is a good strategy, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I think any advice on managing that and trying to turn that into, I'm looking for ideas to try and turn that into a tool and a weapon to manage.
Yeah, by the way, it's how I started my company. The way I built my dad's wine store in the Twitter 2007 era was replying to every person, good or bad.
Yeah.
I think, look, some of us have business issues that are so massive, even if we accept accountability, it's not like we can change out of plastic if that's what they're complaining about tomorrow, right? So, for a business, I think replying to anything that you could be accountable to and owning that within social, that's an easy fix, or a refund, or like something clever, a t-shirt, like however you want to play it, I think you always do that. And then on the things that are like ingrained, you got to really sit and bring those to the boardroom or into your own head and be like, what are we doing about this? But like, I will tell you that the consumer insights of a model that we do, which is, for most of our clients, we're posting 4, 7, 15 pieces of creative a day in social. I would argue that the consumer insights that come out of that creative is worth the price of admission. In fact, we have been funded in our growth on our creative product from consumer insights P&Ls the second year, because we're bringing actual consumer insights while our clients are paying for like bullshit reports from like Forrester or something.
So I want to hear your insights about B2B influencer.
Oh, thank you. So that's a great one. B2B influencer marketing.
Yes.
So that's epic. So that's probably the thing that I'm most excited about in my lab that hasn't really hit the ether. Like, if I put out a lot of content, you won't find a lot from me on B2B influencer marketing, because the last 6 months I've actually been very deep in it. So I think LinkedIn is disproportionately the most underrated social network. I believe if you sell food, beauty products, sneakers, you should be treating LinkedIn the way you treat Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok. There's just so much reach from content. That
I ain't gonna lie, I fell off of LinkedIn, but y'all can add me on on LinkedIn at Little Scorpio King. But I fell off of LinkedIn. I'm downloading it now.
Has always been a thesis of ours. I personally have felt the effects of B2B, influencer life for my business, and have been studying it for a lot of SaaS businesses and a lot of boards and investments I've made. I've done founder-led and non-founder-led content in LinkedIn from an influencer standpoint that has been remarkable. I think the single 2 most interesting things that are happening in influencer marketing is AI influencers that are not human beings, and that's a really important conversation, because I believe everybody that owns their business is going to be in the intellectual property business. They're going to own 10 influencers, not rent it out. That's a different story. And number 2 is B2B influencers. I think this year, it's going to be a big conversation, and I think a lot of people who've built audiences on Twitter and on LinkedIn are going to start getting big paychecks from B2B companies in the way that we've seen in B2C the last 3 to 4 years. Go ahead. Yeah, you can.
Because I find, like, the main challenge is finding influencers on LinkedIn and Twitter. I spend time with marketeers to promote my platform. So I search, it's not on YouTube, it's easy, videographers, cinematographers, and then I get a whole list, and I can see them according to views, according to engagement, according to 1,000 things. But in LinkedIn, there are very few that have lots of followers. Even them, see the engagement on specific posts, only now they started videos on LinkedIn. See the engagement is very low. So it's not marketing that I know, or clear or
Yep.
So even hashtag, like, so difficult to find them.
Yeah, so look, I think
First Twitter, same thing.
Yeah, I think what I tend to do when I need to find longer tail is I hire hand-to-hand combat, humans to do the research. It's there. Like if you use ChatGPT right now and Google and Perplexity and say who are the top 100 followed people on LinkedIn, you will land on a page. I've done it multiple times myself, on a page that will show you the first 20 and ask you for money for the rest, and is well worth your money for that. So it's out there because I've spent some real time on this. I think it's 50 to 100 hours of finding them and then creating a constant flow. But I think the other thing, to your credit, of why it's hard to find and why I reacted the way I did, it's also not a big conversation right now. What's about to happen is it's about to become a huge conversation, and then inevitably Ad Age is going to write the top 50 fucking B2B influencers article, and that will help you. Somebody will build a database, and it will just start. It's just starting to bubble up. But yeah, I mean, I'm on the receiving end of it because I'm always in that top 25 list, and the economic impact of a B2B influencer is no different to why B2B companies do more sales than marketing. Like, it's going to be very ROI positive. It is going to be very lucrative. I think B2B influencers are going to make some real money. I really do. I think podcasts is a good place for you to look too. That's where I found a bunch, because you can go to Spotify and Apple and look at the top 200. And there's some categories of like tech. Like you'll see, it's definitely bubbling. Authors, people that are writing books that don't sell well, but there is a little bit of juice for them on LinkedIn. So I've done Amazon searches for like deep tech and SaaS, and to see who wrote a book, and then go look at their LinkedIn. Time to go. Already? Shit. Go ahead, sneak it in.
Ash from TikTok.
Yes.
Agency. My question is on, are you going to see brands migrate away from creators to perhaps AI-led avatars to have more control?
100%.
Okay.
What the influencers did to celebrities, AI influencers are about to do to influencers, and they're going to cry about it, and the hypocrisy is going to be fascinating. It's by the way, in a real fucking way. Every person here has interacted and consumed an AI influencer and has no idea. There's the ones that you do know, like the sleazy, OnlyFans type girls. You can see they're not real. Every person here has consumed an AI influencer piece of content and don't know they did. And that's today. In 24 months, it's gonna be like, why in the world would you not own your influencer? No risk, you own the IP, you can monetize it. You start off using it to build your business, and then the fucking thing for some reason has 1 million followers. You're like, wait a minute, I can get 10,000 from this fashion brand? People are gonna subsidize their marketing by owning their influencer. Now, the issue is, there's only 8 billion people on Earth. I think in about 24 months, I'm gonna have 8 billion influencers myself. So I do think that we're gonna learn what supply and demand means. One of the reasons I was able to build my career was I was first on all these platforms. So I got to 1 million followers on Twitter when there was 8 million people on Twitter. If I, today, where I am at, tried to start my process of getting to 1 million followers on Twitter with 100 million people on the platform, good luck. It's just supply and demand of attention. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think the people that move first, like this year, will get some real benefits, but every nanosecond it's going to get harder because... Sorry, bye. I'm sorry, bye everyone.
All right, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Visit my website, LetsHelpYouGrowNow.gumroad.com.
Don't you see me right now, baby girl, I'm on the grind. I ain't really got no time to waste time. Baby, I'ma shine.